Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm doing something a little bit different here today. Every now and again, I like to throw out to you guys something a little bit unique. And sometimes I do some odds and ends, I guess you could call it. And I suppose this is sort of an odds and ends thing. I'm going to focus on this. And if you don't know what this is the 25th anniversary complete series of the original Transformers program. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to do some toy comparisons. I'm going to throw in a couple of other things. It's going to be a quick, fun little video. So stick around, and I guess take a look at what this offers, along with a couple of other slight oddities, I suppose we'll call it, in the latest GotBot True Review. Okay folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot, and I welcome you, and I thank you, and please check me out everywhere. Have a look at Machinery Man and the Everything Factor, and hey, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, all that good stuff. And this is something that I've been wanting to take a look at and talk about, but I have a couple of things that I just want to take care of first. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a moment. I also have the complete series for Energon. It's not, I know it's part of the Unicron trilogy, it's not really my my line, but I did pick it up. Hey, why not? And on the front you'll notice that there's, is he on the back? No, he's not. On the front you'll notice that there is a picture of that Energon Optimus all combined up. And for anybody during the Combiner Wars, toy run, if there's anybody, who picked up, I think it was Optimus Maximus, the red, Voyager Prime and his limbs, I think he's pretty much an homage to this version. If you look at it, you can see that you have, we'll call it a blue leg. I think it's a submarine, and that could be Mirage. He has a kind of a green, yellowish green leg there. There's a yellow one, I figure that's Sunstreaker, basically. There's a white one that's kind of like the Prowl, and there's an orange arm. I guess the closest match we have to that is Ironhide. So I can appreciate the inspiration, and the chest, the open chest. I feel like this detailing is a lot like what we got in the toy. So I see where the inspiration's coming from, and I think that's kind of cool, and I just wanted to mention that. It's not, again, it's not a combiner that I got, but it's nice that there was a nod to that. The other thing that I just wanted to show quickly, Starscream Girlfriend picked me up. It's a Transformers Prime lunch tin, all metal lunch tin. Beautiful detailing though for Bumblebee and Optimus, and it's raised. It's metal. It's fantastic. There it is, just flat on the back. Now I obviously do not use this as a lunch tin, but if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I do customize paint apps a lot of the time. So what I've done is I've taken it, and all of my paint supplies I put inside, and it's kind of like my customization kit, and that works for me. So I appreciate Starscream Girlfriend getting that for me. She also got for me a couple of years ago for Christmas this. Believe it or not, it was found for like 20 bucks. It's in this silver hard box. You have an outline of Optimus. You have the traditional logo. Beautiful, I love it. Logo on the side. On the back you have Jazz and Optimus and Megatron. And on it You know, it got I guess a read up, a bunch of bonus features. You know, it's a case. It is what it is. But I was excited to get this. There was only one thing wrong with this box set of the complete series. It is missing the 1986 movie that we are celebrating 30 years of now, and that we're finally getting a release of, and I pretty much figure I need to get that to totally complete this. So I'm going to just take that out of it, and I'm going to show the DVD cases kind of one at a time. And I guess before I take this out of it, I should have showing these, you know, in here. They just fit in the end like this, and you know, you pour them out. So we'll take the box out of it, we'll take the cases out of it, because I want to show them one at a time compared to some toy representations that I have, and kind of explain a little bit of my logic for them. On the front of, what is this? This is Season 1. On the front of Season 1, that's what we get, a beautiful picture of Optimus and Megatron and Starscream. Here's my inspiration, my evasion mode Optimus Prime. You know, obviously borrowing from that. Now I think it's turned out pretty good. I'll leave that there to get the next comparison. The next comparison that I want to do is my Hegemon for Megatron. You know, I added a few paint apps to Hegemon just to make him a little more accurate. And again, I think it worked out nicely. I really do. We'll probably see a little bit more of Megatron as we go through here. Inside, who do we have? Optimus and Megatron again, Starscream and Jazz, but I'll deal with Starscream and Jazz elsewhere. Here's Jazz. Here's a picture of Jazz. You will notice that he does not have door wings sticking out of the back. And everybody loves the Classics mold, and the Classics mold is pretty fantastic. It's not one that I got because I didn't want him to have the door wings. Instead I got the FOC version, because he doesn't have the door wings. I think the silhouette looks more like Jazz. Granted, mine could probably use some paint apps, and I've never done it, but I'm thinking about possibly doing it. And if I do, I'll do a little update video on that. That's the first season, I guess, case, we'll call it. For the second season case, we have, again, Megatron and Optimus on the front. Ooh, that's not focusing nicely. There we go. We have Megatron and Optimus on the front. Megatron with his Energon mace. That's why you see Megatron come so often with that mace, even though he only used it in one episode. But still, like, I think it looks great. Then we have inside nothing but an Autobot symbol, because this is the bonus features disc. And the bonus features on this one talks about origin of the Transformers. There's a printable Transport to Oblivion script, archival toy commercials, and public service announcements. It was great to relive that stuff. On the back of this one, we have Soundwave. And what can I say? We have a Titan's Return Soundwave coming that looks great compared to that. Me personally, I use the FOC Soundwave, and I still think he's pretty close. He's pretty accurate. The head is super duper accurate as far as I'm concerned. The head is really great, and I feel like this is probably down a little bit. So let's just adjust this up slightly. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, for me and my collection, the FOC one is pretty reminiscent. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So that's the second disc done, and a comparison with Soundwave. The third disc has Optimus Prime on the front, and if you open it up inside, we have Jazz again and Starscream, who I'll deal with a little bit later. And on the back we have Bumblebee. And that's the way I remember Bumblebee. And that's why I have this little Legends guy. And there's a new Titans Return Bumblebee coming that I think also looks good. He's a little more hench, a little more bulky than I think Bumblebee should be. I feel like this one is still pretty close on the ideal right now. I really do. It would be nice if his feet were yellow to match the yellow of the animation. It'd be nice if his shoulders were black to match the black of the animation. But it's still pretty good, and there's no mistaking who it is. Then we move on. And next we have, on tap, Megatron on the cover, and we are into season 2, I guess disc 1. Megatron on the cover, beautiful, beautiful Megatron. Inside we have Bumblebee again, and we have Soundwave with Ravage, and you know, again, Ravage is one of those that's just so hard to do. Here's my FOC Ravage. It's not perfect, but come on, it's Ravage. There are certainly better versions of Ravage out there. We close up the back and we have Starscream in all of his glory, and I don't care what anybody says, that's the Classics mold. There's no doubt, it is the Classics mold. And I don't have the Classics mold for my, I guess, original Seekers, and it looks beautiful, but that mold has its articulation limitations. So I took my FOC Starscream and painted him. It's not, again, it's not perfect. I mean, his toes should be blue. That front section that I have red, that should be blue, but I think I pretty much got the wings correct. The thighs are silver and should be silver, the red going up the sides. Considering how different the red pauldrons on top, considering how different he is from what Starscream's initial animation looked like, I think it turned out well. Obviously his null rays, the figure's null rays are not correct, but we work with what we get sometimes. Next we move on to Season 2, Volume 2, I guess. And Bumblebee's on the cover of that one. And if we open it up, we have, though they're upside down, we have Bumblebee again and Optimus. And on the back we have Optimus again. We've already seen that picture. So we'll move that one aside. And all of these, you know, I can't say all of these, because that's not true. Some of these have bonus features which are great, like the history one was great. Seeing the old commercials and the public service announcements, that was great. Then we come to the last disc for Season 2. And this one has bonus features on it as well, including how the animated series came about, and some stories and interviews with people that worked on it, a few more PSAs and some archival toy commercials, and some of the concept art, which is really interesting to look at if you are a Transformers fan. Starscream on the cover, and Megatron with his Energon mace on the back. And inside we have Megatron, and we have Devastator. I'm not going to try and bring in the Titan class Devastator, but for all of the versions, official and unofficial, that we have of Devastator, if you look at that head, I feel like the, you know, Titan class Devastator is the absolute best representation of this animation. But of course, that's just me, that's just my opinion. Everybody, you know, everybody's entitled to a different one if they are so inclined. Next up, we move into when everything got revamped. Season 3 and 4. Season 3, on the cover we get, I guess it's Hot Rod. I don't think it's Rodimus. I guess it's Hot Rod. Maybe it is Rodimus. I don't really know what's up with that head. It doesn't really look like Hot Rod's head. But for now, I feel like, you know, outside of the masterpieces, of course, that's a different level. I feel like this is, you know, the closest Chug representation that we have of this guy. That may shortly change. We'll see. On the back we have Cup. And personally, I absolutely love the Generations Cup. And I feel like that's a great representation of that flinty old warrior. So happy to have that cup. I've heard that we may be getting an updated version of him. It would have to be something, and I mean something. Here we have Hot Rod again, and we have Galvatron. I'll deal with Galvatron shortly again with a different case when we get a better look at him. So we'll take that out of it. And so we come to the last piece of this box set. There are a bunch of, you know, episodes on this disc, and actually it's 2 discs in here. Bunch of episodes. We have, you know, some bonus features here. We get a look at BotCon, you know, auto assembly. A look at some, you know, private collections and some interviews. We get some files of Teletran 2. We get some public service announcements again, commercials and concept art. It's all so nice. Either you're a fan and it's a chance to learn some of the history of the franchise that maybe you didn't know before, or you're a fan since the beginning and it's great nostalgia. On the cover of this one we have Galvatron. What can I say? The Titans Return version is a really nice match for this artwork. Personally, I have Mania King. The vintage color Mania King is my version. And I recently done a review on him, you know, and I gave his paint apps a really good score, but of course they're not absolutely perfect. You know, the purple on his cannon shouldn't be purple, it should be this white-gray color. There's no, what's the word I'm looking for? Chrome on the cannon, it's all orange. So it's not perfect, but it's still pretty good. It's a pretty acceptable rendition and a pretty great figure. So I'll just lay him aside. On the inside, one of them fell. On the inside we have Ultra Magnus. I don't have the Combiner Wars Leader Class Ultra Magnus here right now. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. And boom, there. I feel like that this Ultra Magnus, again, you can't really compare the masterpiece, but come on, this Ultra Magnus is a fantastic representation of this character, even though he only has 1 missile and this Ultra Magnus has 2 on his shoulders. Taking him out of it, you will notice that the other disc has Cyclonus on it. And what can I say for Cyclonus? You know, I think the artwork on the disc is really based on that figure, or the figure is based on that artwork, more so than the Combiner Wars iteration that we got of him. But either way, it's Cyclonus, and I feel like it's more of a match to the Classics one. And last but not least, we have on the back Scourge. And I'll just lay that there to get him and him. Here is my custom Titans Returns Scourge. Here is one of the Generations Scourge molds, and here's the artwork for Scourge right there. Again, they both have merit to the character, and I can see each of them having bits and pieces that are correct. I think the Generations one is a little more accurate. So, you know, there you go. There you go. There's how, there's a bunch of examples of how the toys compare with some of the animation. Overall, this entire set is really fantastic and worth having if you're a fan. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've watched it a bunch of times, and I thoroughly thank Starscream Girlfriend for getting it for me a few years ago. I absolutely, positively love it. Paint apps, I don't know, we'll say 10. Posability, playability, pardon me. Well, you can stand it up and it looks nice. You know, playability, you can watch it over and over, as I have. 10. Transformation. Well, the set itself doesn't transform, but you know what? Everything that's on the discs does. From the cartoons, to the commercials, to even the public service announcements. It's all beautiful. This box set, it's a 10. It is a 10. Anyway, thanks for dropping by and having a little bit of a visit with me. I really appreciate it. This was something a little bit different. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, let me know what you thought. And I really look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit right here inside the videos.